This week on Not Sauce for Work, Terry Tam is at home. Eagle is in the studio. On today's show, we discuss some of the topics surrounding the NBA and NHL playoffs, the basketball MVP debate, and the Montreal Canadiens' destiny to ruin the first overall pick in the draft. We also sit down with Tommy Roadley Trohatos and follow him as he has chased his dream to professional football in Mexico. We'll get into this and much more on this episode of Not Sauce for Work on the Hot Sauce Sports Podcast Network. On the Hot Sauce Sports Podcast Network. I'm your host, Pease Delarize. And guys, I want to start with a very important topic because the three of us are about to travel together for the first time. It's our first trip as homeboys.
We're not driving there.
Well, I'm not driving there.
You're not?
No, Eagle's driving me. I'm not driving myself.
So are you going up alone and then the girls coming up after?
No, the girls are coming with us. The girls are we forced them to take time off their jobs so they can keep us company.
But why would you, like, I mean, it's great, it's cute and everything, but like, I'd be like, if they want, do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah. I guess so. It just, I think my wife just didn't want to come up alone, and I refused to not go up early. We have a buddy getting married. He's getting married in June. We're very excited. And what I want to bring up specifically is that, this happened to me in a bachelor party, and it's something I thought was really normal. And I feel like sometimes we have this discussion to, like, guys don't ever talk about, like, you know, normal human stuff. We talk about sports and bullshit, which if there was ever like an epitaph on our show, it would be Not Sauce for Work, sports and bullshit. But
pretty much.
I like once in a while we get these topics where it's just like, it's a safe space for dudes, you know? And
yeah.
So I was at this bachelor party, and both Duke and I, Graphite Duke, were wearing pajama pants.
Nice.
As we're like hanging around, like in like the common area of the Airbnb, and the guys are like, "You guys have pajama pants?" Like, yeah. They're like, "Well, but like you don't sleep in your underwear." I was like, "We do, but when we walk around the house, like we always have like, pajama pants, like flannel pants or whatever, you know." So like, I was curious, like, so you're gonna see me definitely. It might be either my pug jamas, which are pajama pants with a pug print, or pizza jamas. They are pajamas with pizza print.
I don't know why I would see you in your pajamas. I'm not going to be hanging out in your room. Are you going to be outside of your room in your pajamas?
Largely, probably, yes. The second I go back to my room, if I leave, I'm leaving again in pajamas.
See,
so
that's
like,
where
an ice bucket or knock on your door asking, like, seeing if you have any drinks.
Yeah, okay. That's
know,
I'm not. Yeah, you're not going to change your pants to go get ice.
Exactly,
but I'm saying, like, if I see you in the hotel lobby, like going to grab a drink at the bar, are you going to be in PJs?
No, never.
So I don't have
the most that I go to the lobby, like counter, like, you know, if I forgot something, I'm not putting on pants.
I don't have pajama pants, but I do have pants that I wear as pajamas.
Fair.
Because
like old joggers?
Yeah, joggers with the elastic at the bottom. Very important. Mm-hmm. You can't have loose pants at the bottom.
I don't mind them again if it's pajama pants. As joggers, you need to have that.
No, but even I find that even as pajama pants, like I go to Uniqlo and I see like all their sweats over there with the elastic at the bottom and they fit so nice.
Yeah.
Those are pajama pants to me. But like the flannel ones, I've had pairs and they've been great. But realistically, I'm more of like, I find a nice, comfortable pair of jogging pants. Those are going to be my pajama pants for like the next 3 or 4 years until there's a hole down the middle or maybe a shit stain has burned a hole right through the ass of it.
I'll downgrade jogging pants to pajama pants once in a while. But usually I'll keep them as like, you know, I use these to work around the house. And you know.
Yeah, that's another thing too, is that you take your old jogging pants and those become your fuck around pants and the ones you pass out in.
Basketball shorts too. I like basketball shorts, but I don't like traveling with basketball shorts because there's no pockets. And when you leave your room, like you want to have your room key, your phone, that kind of stuff.
That's why a fanny pack is a great accessory, my friend.
Yeah, I would never wear a fanny pack.
I do, and I do it proudly.
Yeah, you're the only one.
In spite of people like you who shame people like me.
Absolutely, I'm a judger and shamer of the fanny pack.
You should be.
Eagle, what's your evening attire like?
In general?
Well, in general / being on trips and stuff like.
I feel like Eagle's a naked guy.
I mean, when I'm sleeping, I'm in boxers, basically. Yeah, but when I'm walking around the hotel room, I don't know, just whatever I was wearing that day. I don't really have like something.
So you'll like put your jeans back on if you need to like go get ice.
I guess, yeah.
See, I need comfortable pants. I need comfortable pants to make the trek.
Eagle's definitely a guy who just puts on jeans for no reason.
No, if anything, I don't wear pants at all.
No, but like I feel like you would wear, like when I go to the gym, even if I'm not working out in the clothes I'm wearing, I'm not wearing jeans. But I feel like Eagle would wear jeans to the gym.
No, God, no. Are you crazy? No, absolutely not.
But even if you're not working out in them, I know you're not. I mean, I hope you wouldn't work out in jeans.
At home, if I'm just lounging around, I'll have like sweatpants, and not pajama pants, but usually sweatpants. But in the summer, it's too hot, so either I'm in shorts or just I don't know, just lounging stuff.
I like those tops, like those thermal shirts, a little bit loose. You know, like
Vacation.
I have like I guess. I guess.
I'm almost always in a button down. I don't love t-shirts. They betray me.
You haven't found a good t-shirt yet. This one.
I guess you know what it is. It's that after a couple of washes, they get deformed, and I get super frustrated. And
that's because you buy shirts at the dollar store.
No, not the dollar store. But I don't like ones that have super flex material because they make me look pregnant. So
no, I'm the same way. You one of these shirts, okay? Peace. I'm gonna give you one of these shirts, and if you don't tell me that these are one of the best shirts you've ever fucking worn, and I'm not gonna give no free ads. I'm not gonna give their fucking name out, even though it's a friend of mine.
Yeah. Tell them to pay us then.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you one of these shirts.
I'll try it. Honestly, I was really impressed with the hot sauce t-shirt. I still wear that.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the same, pretty much same quality. Actually, these are those new ones that he has, different colors, and they're a little bit better quality. But the hot sauce sports t-shirts are really good.
Yeah. Speaking of loungewear, I can no longer wear that because someone stole it from me, and by someone I mean my girlfriend.
Yeah, I got one for my wife so that that would stop happening. But that's we got some stories to get to, boys. Let's get to the news. Terry, it's the news.
Is it though?
It is. It absolutely is. The NBA playoffs and the NHL playoffs now full swing. It was a little weird with both playoffs not starting at the same time, but I will say at least I got to sleep before this round. Now I'm just not sleeping. It's not possible.
I haven't watched much of the NBA playoffs. I mean, I've tuned in, but it's because there's a hockey every night. So and the series and the playoffs this year are unfucking believable.
I felt like it's been my responsibility. Like I've been the opposite, where I've been watching basketball as the main game, and I'll put the NHL like on my laptop on the side or on my phone, and I'll glance over and I'll get a feel a little bit, but it's hard to watch it entirely. I've watched every second of basketball, either live or watched it later, like the next morning or whatever. So I've seen every single NBA playoff game because I know that's my thing with Hot Sauce Sports, right? Like you guys are more the hockey coverage.
Why do people watch the first 2 quarters of basketball? I don't understand.
Oh, it's more to know sort of what the teams are doing strategically. Like there's a lot of like what they're doing to test out for late game situations. But like for a casual fan, absolutely just tune in the last 5 minutes, unless it's last night's Heat game, because Jesus, they got they played the song Pepas.
I saw
at the Heat Arena at the FTX. They played the song Pepas when the game was in hand. They played it like with 10 minutes left in the game. It was pretty. It was like the start of the fourth quarter. It was pretty disrespectful.
So I the only time I'll watch basketball is if it's a hockey intermission and the other game isn't good. Mm-hmm. And I'll put on basketball if I have something on the fourth quarter, like if I have a little bit of money on the money line. So the other day I see pregame. I know there's been back and forth with Phoenix and Dallas and Luka and Book, you know, like, and it's been like, that's been like the most interesting series because they have that, like, they 2 young guys that are going to be the future of this league, you know, going at it, you know, chirping, playing hard, both playing amazing. And so I'm like, you know what, I'm going to put a little wager on my boy Luka. So I put, I think it was like $15 on the Mavs to win money line. Yeah. Hey, they started off fantastic. I was like, man, they're going into the second half. I was a game late.
So the reason why is like it's like a thing. NBA basketball is like teams 1-1. Going home down 2-0 almost always win the first home game. Like it's I put bets on money line, and like you know that like I have a vested interest in the Suns winning because I get to make fun of Alex the intern. So like it's the only reason. Like I'm not a fan. It's the only reason is that I have is that. But I bet
the Habs lost by 30 though. Like,
yeah, I know.
What am I doing?
Like I got the feeling last night that both those series are ending in 6, both the Heat series and the Suns series.
Suns in 6. What are you gonna do?
But I bet Game 5 on Philly and on the Mavs because it's that thing where. Like most series, it's very unlikely there's not a lot of sweeps in the NBA playoffs, especially in the second round. And it's hard to win on the road because we've seen it. Like the role players don't shoot at the same level. Like Tyrese Maxey's just not the same player he is on the road as he is at home. Same with Max Strus, same with Duncan Robinson, same with the guys in the, like Mikal Bridges goes nuts at home. He's not the same offensive player as he is when he's on the road,
It's so weird. It's the same. It's like the same material.
Yeah.
I mean, the fans, I guess, could be a factor. Like unfamiliar territories. Maybe you don't know. Like, okay, maybe this little piece of wood is loose. Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like,
if you're James Harden, you're in Miami, the strip clubs.
Yeah, I mean, there's that. I mean, I guess it has to be the travel, just familiarity. You're not.
There's also the backboard is clear, right? And you see the fans. The fans go right down to like the floor level, right?
Yeah.
And so what's interesting is during the bubble, like the shooting was up drastically, and it's just that guys are shooting in an empty gym. It's the most comfortable shooting experience ever.
Yeah.
Anthony Davis became a 3-point shooter and won the Lakers championship because it's easier to shoot when you don't have all that chaos
and when you don't have anybody yelling at you. Hey, shut up, unibrow.
It's the only it's the only sport though where like the players are literally down to like play level, right?
Yeah. Like, we see it was annoying when the Raptors won. Was it 2018 when the Raptors won and Drake was like massaging Nick Nurse, and we saw it again last night with DJ Khaled doing it to freaking Spoelstra.
He was trying to inbound the ball.
I'm like,
trying to inbound the ball.
Who do you think, like these people, these fucking celebrities? Okay, you're already sitting. Who do you think you are running up and down the court where these players go? Like DJ Khaled isn't like. I've seen him move. He's kind of athletic, but he's not fast enough to get out of the way of a player who's looking down, taking off his tracksuit, or I don't know, doing something. Then he's going to roll this guy over. He's going to fall, snap his leg. Like, how the hell do they allow this shit to happen?
You know what it is? It's the players are so close with a lot of the celebrities that the players just, they allow it. They like it. They like the access they have to sort of celebrity lifestyle, right? So,
and I guess they become, if you're from that town, you become like the ambassador, like Drake did for Toronto. Like, so you have that.
Drake holds that position for the Raptors. He actually is like, he has an office in
I know.
In the Raptors. Like that's his job.
I know.
He's got
like in Miami
to be there than DJ Khaled.
In Miami, so many people claim the city. You know what I mean? So it's like you're gonna give everybody a seat. You're gonna give Bad Bunny, DJ Khaled, Pitbull, fucking Jorge Masvidal, Dave Portnoy. Like you're gonna get all these Miami fucking lovers. You're gonna give them all a seat at the table. Like I don't understand.
Well, Portnoy won't because he's a Celtics fan, so he's automatically not welcome in the Heat Arena because that hate is real.
About that. But you know what? I guess he is a Celtics fan.
Yeah, he is.
He's not really diehard though.
The Jokic was named MVP for the second straight season, and this was the tweet that was put out by Joel Embid. He said, "Obviously, congrats to Nikola. He deserved it," and then said the opposite when he said, "I guess every year it's all about whatever you guys decided, whatever fits the narrative." Like it's not like Jokic was trash. He was excellent this year. Like not saying Embiid wasn't. Like it's whoever won, I would have been like, yeah. It's cool. One of those two guys. It's awesome.
But also, it's like people complain that like about Jokic and Trae Young and all this, and it's like, okay, I get it. You have your guy that you thought was gonna win, but like Jokic, the point of the MVP is if you take him completely away from this team, does the team even come close to what they are? Does it lose?
They're not even a play-in team.
They lose their complete. Whatever is integral to the system, they lose it, right? And people don't realize that without Embiid, maybe they still would have made the playoffs.
He also runs the offense completely. Like he's the point guard and the center of the team. And he improved his defense. He's improved his 3-point shooting. Like he's actually better than last year's MVP season statistically. So like if he was the MVP last year and he got better, it's a pretty good case, you know?
Yeah.
To me, it was either them or Giannis. It was three people. Jason Tatum, unfortunately, he started the season too slow. A lot of guys didn't play enough games. To be honest, the argument for me has been defensive player of the year. Like Marcus Smart, he wasn't even the best defender on his team, but Robert Williams got hurt, and then he won the award. It's like, are we saying the Celtics are so much more dominant that the second best defender on their team is the best defender in the NBA?
That does make sense.
Yeah, it's a little. That one was a little strange, but I was good with it. That series has been. We're looking at what Embiid was doing with the Heat. Like he came back one game and was excellent, but then he came into this game, Terry. And of course, he just found out he didn't win the MVP. So the question was asked on the TNT show whether or not he was going to come in like primed for a big game. And here was the answer from Ernie.
Can I play this? Hold on.
Yeah, play it.
Hold on. I gotta try something here.
It's new assets, folks. New technology this week.
I got a brand new setup here, so I gotta see if this actually works. I don't think it does actually. God.
Really?
Is it for the double thing?
I'm trying to do a different thing right now.
It's okay. Just I won't say anything.
Hold on. Let me try this again.
Sometimes I wish I was better at reading lips. Like I always thought I was pretty good, but like when we have technical issues like this, and I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna be able to hear. I just want to read their lips. I can do it though. I feel like I'm pretty good at reading lips. Like what did Luka call Devin Booker? Called him a
pussy,
what do you call him? What was it?
You call him a pussy, no?
People think he said pussy ass.
Oh, pussy ass. That was it. Yeah.
That's what he said, pussy ass.
Or
that's what people.
Ass.
Yeah, people think that he said pussy ass. It could have been piece of ass.
He's a really good-looking guy.
It could have been pizza ash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pizza ash.
Yeah.
It's the worst flavor. It's below pineapple. It's the only flavor worse than pineapple.
I mean, maybe he was just telling it. Maybe Booker's like, hey, what kind of pizza you like?
Yeah. I can't get it on the screen now. I'm gonna figure it out. But
like,
here's the audio.
I like ash on the pizza. Pizza ash. We don't know what he really said.
The series returned to Miami a day after word got out before the official announcement that Embid would not be named the league's MVP. Nikola Jokic would. So would that fuel one of those?
Are you guys even playing anything?
Yeah. With the series lead on the line. The simple answer: no.
So
because it's not even moving. The video is not even moving.
So the video can't play. Eagles spelled Joel Embiid's name wrong. Joel Embed.
Today's
couldn't
awful.
play the embedded video on top of calling him Joel Embed. And why can't Terry hear the sound, Eagle?
Because I can't share it with him.
There's no video clips this week. I'll just tell you what the clip was. Like he sets it all up. You're like, yeah, Joel Embiid. He just found out that he didn't win the MVP. So was he primed for a big performance? No. Bam Adebayo shut that dude down. If you want to talk about guys who should have been considered for Defensive Player of the Year, that dude was covering Trae Young at the 3-point line last series, and he had Embiid score only 4 points in the fourth quarter of this game and 0 points in the fourth quarter last game. Even though they lost game 3.
But the playoffs don't count for awards, right?
I know, but he was also great this season. He also he missed a ton of games, so. It's going to be weird. I don't know how to account for that when it comes to awards in the NBA with the load management and all that, right? So
just tell me when the Bucks are in the finals and I'll watch them.
I honestly don't know if they'll get past Boston.
Celtics are fucking good, man. Like they're really fucking good.
Obviously I'd be happy for you and your brethren if the Bucks make it, because Giannis is fun to watch, but I honestly want to see the ridiculous defense that would be Boston against Miami. Like that's for like a basketball geek, it's a fun series.
There's a movie coming out about Giannis and his brothers, and they're struggling in Greece and with racism and stuff, but it's in English.
That'd be cool. I'm super curious to check that out. There's a great book.
I don't know. I feel like the story's not done yet. No,
it's not, but it's about their path to the NBA.
I guess, yeah.
But so what's interesting in that series is, of course, Robert Williams has missed time. Al Horford got dunked on by Giannis, and then I don't know if you saw the clip, which we can't play.
I did, yeah.
Al Horford gave him a nod, and
exactly.
his sister tweeted basically like, "Oh, that's when I knew." And Al Horford went for 30 points. I don't think I've ever seen Al Horford go for 30 points.
I saw a bunch of the comments on that tweet too. It was hilarious. Some guys like, what do you know? Does he ever dunk on you?
He did, by the way.
Probably,
he dunked on Giannis the next game.
Yeah, right away. And he elbowed him in the face too. So,
but
Horford's a beast. Big fan.
he's a fun guy, but he's always been like sort of like that gritty guy who's gonna get you some fouls. And
he looks like he has a screw loose. Like he doesn't look like.
Oh, he's not all right.
Yeah,
there's something.
There's something there. That's for sure. Yeah.
But honestly, it's been cool to watch that. Like in games where Tatum has struggled and Jaylen Brown has struggled, 35-year-old Al Horford is the guy. Like if there was an MVP of this round, he'd probably win the MVP of this round, which is wild to me. Sure. And then the other thing going viral on Twitter was people complaining that the Warriors' Jordan Poole purposely injured Ja Morant by slightly tugging at his knee, even though what he suffered was a knee bruise. Alex the Intern was the first amongst the Twitter trolls to complain. And it was like he was reaching for the ball very clearly. There's no way he hurt a professional athlete by lightly tugging his knee.
I mean, Ja Morant's already wild enough as it is.
Yeah,
he's just like the way he just plays, and there was a bunch of
video. To be fair, yeah,
he does, man. Like he just throws his body everywhere, so stuff like that's gonna happen. But I think it was more because he fell on his knee, not because
he got planted weird and it bruised his knee. Like it happens.
Yeah,
these guys are moving very quickly. Stuff happens to their body.
Athletes, super athletes like me and Ja Morant, we get injured very weirdly.
Yeah, that's exactly. Hey, I'm the one suffering with carpal tunnel. So.
Yeah, I mean, you're already 75 years old at this point.
Exactly.
What's the oldest injury you have, Eagle? Like,
for me, it has carpal tunnel. What about you, Eagle?
Yeah.
I blew my MCL. I blew my wrist. My
no, I mean like the one that makes you feel like you're aging.
Having to spend brain power with you guys.
That is an injury.
Yeah.
Mine is probably like
early onset, huh? Early onset.
When I get like my lower back starts hurting, I'm like, this is where it is.
I like once in a while my back hurts for like a day. I don't have any back
pain.
Eh? Yeah. But like, I have a buddy of mine that I brew beer with, so we have to lift like some equipment sometimes, and like he has back issues, and I tell him all the time, like, I don't know how you deal with lower back pain. Like I get it once a year, and I hate those 4 hours feel like 8 days. It's the worst. I don't want it. It's awful.
It's tight hamstrings is what it is, and I learned that from Greg Stern, my quarterback / physio.
Yeah, there you go. Now you know. You got to loosen the hamstrings. So the Montreal Canadiens have the first overall pick. I should be excited because I'm a fan. I love the Canadiens. I know at times it seems like it doesn't, but it's that because I love them, they make me so mad. It's the type of fandom that I don't even have for the Miami Dolphins anymore. Like the Dolphins lose and it's just like, fine, you guys lost again. But the Canadiens continuously aggravate me, Terry, and I'm convinced they're going to screw this up.
You know what? Revisionist history will tell you that you're right.
Well, it's been since '93, right? Like at this point, we keep making fun of the Maple Leafs, who've been to the playoffs more often than the Canadiens. Yes, we've had more deep runs than they do.
I don't think they have been to the playoffs
last 10 years.
More.
In the last 10 years, they have.
In the last 10 years, maybe, but since 1993, it's definitely
since 1993, it's probably
but we've won more.
The Habs have also made it to the Stanley Cup final once.
But that can't be enough, Eagle. Like I had this argument today. Like we can't look at the bottom of the barrel and be like, at least we're better than. No, we're supposed to be the top of the league.
No, despite our suckiness, we're still better than.
That's the point that we're trying to emphasize here, Pete.
But
it's not the Habs fans like myself are very aware that the team is shit and they don't develop properly. Okay, and you're right for thinking that they're gonna fuck this up. They're gonna draft somebody that they don't need, or they're not gonna develop properly. But there's been an entire change in the whole organization. It's not the same.
But they've done entire.
They never did.
Over and over again. Like they cleaned out the front office.
Bob Gainey came in.
Yeah.
Bob Gainey came in and he put his plan in. Trevor Timmons was still there. Bob Gainey left. Trevor Timmons has been there up until this year. Trevor Timmons was a big piece in everybody they drafted. Trevor Timmons did well with his picks in the later rounds. Like even the second, third round is where he really did really well. Like he got guys like Pacioretty, you got guys like Subban, you got guys like Lars Eller.
His first rounders were garbage though. Every single year,
every single one of them. But
except
like
the ones we traded.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean that's the part that we're getting, and I think Kent Hughes he's done or we're calling him Quent Hughes because he's French.
Perfect.
Yeah, Quent Hughes. He's
Quent Hughes.
Yeah, Quent Hughes. He's been fantastic, and he said we're going to be bigger and we're going to be faster, and that's it. And all I can see now is them drafting this kid Shane Wright that Bob McKenzie said that 9 out of 10 of the GMs in the NHL, the 10 GMs he asked, said they would draft Shane Wright first overall. And we have Habs fans out there that are fucking crying. They're like, oh, not Shane Wright. We got to go. Shut the fuck up and let the guys that get paid millions of dollars do their fucking job. Like, that's basically what
you haven't grinded the tape. They have. You know what I mean? Like, they know what they're looking at. It's just that when I see this, like, I see sometimes a team like the Canadiens can have they have the tendency to rest on the laurels, on their history, right? Like, we're the greatest team in the history of the NHL, which they are. But like, you see this at times, the Lakers kind of forget that they need to win games now. And then, of course, they brought a championship back a couple of years, and it's going to take them some time to rebuild because the Russell Westbrook contract was terrible. But whatever, like, they won recently. The Yankees, they kind of went through that thing where, again, they just sort of thought they'd win. They'd beat the Astros just by being the Yankees, and that didn't work. But now they've retooled the team, and they look to be competitive. And it just seems like the Canadiens had never got, like, since 93, they never really got that gear. Because last year, let's face it, that was a total surprise.
Total surprise, total fluke. It was unexpected. It was.
Well, also, if not for the way they restructured
it was
the entire playoff bracket, we wouldn't have had a choice.
And if not for the Flames not winning one more game, the Montreal Canadiens don't even make the playoffs last year.
Oh, that's a good point. But also, if the Islanders had won that game against the Lightning to get into the Stanley Cup final, I say this often. I think the Habs, with the way they were playing, dominate the Islanders.
Agreed, but the thing is, and it would have been awesome, but it would have kind of felt like the Lakers championship of like, awesome, thank you for saving everything. But like, you're not ready to.
I don't think it would have been,
right? Like,
I don't think it would have been because in LA, it's like LeBron brought, he brought the guys with him, right? He got the boys. The Habs had none of those guys. We already had those guys in place.
Neither of the teams were set up for long-term success.
I agree. Yeah, no, I mean, that's for sure. I mean, the Habs were on the end of a really bad build. Okay, really bad patch-up job. They were at the end of it. This is how far they can stretch it. And with the Lakers was they sold the house for that team. So the fact that they won, it was expected. The Habs going there obviously was the craziest Cinderella story of all fucking time. They should have never been in that position. You know what I mean? And we're looking at it now, and you're okay to worry about what they're going to do with this draft pick. But I'm positive. I think that there's a mentality there that we have right now with Gordon and Hughes. There's a mentality that the Habs haven't really had for a long time, and I'm excited. And I think that they're going to make the best choice, and I have full confidence in them. I think most Habs fans do.
Before we get, I guess I'm in the minority then, because they've not. To me, like I'm a fan of bad organizations. I'm a Dolphins fan. I see no difference between the Dolphins and Montreal Canadiens until they prove it to me. Like, I'm sorry, I've been your fan for 35 years, right? Like, for most of my human life, I've been a Montreal Canadiens fan. So like, I've given it to you. Now you got to prove it back to me. Like,
the Dolphins are like
in return.
The Dolphins are like the Leafs. The Habs are like the Cowboys, which is funny.
I guess.
You know what I mean? Because the Cowboys always say, "Oh, 5 Super Bowls, bro." Right?
Well, I mean, I guess at this point they'd be the Patriots because the Patriots have more Super Bowls, right?
No, but just say, "Oh, how many Super Bowls do the Dolphins have, bro?" Yeah. Like, that's what they say. You know, I mean, I say me. I don't say those things because I'm not dumb. But like, it's the same thing with the Habs.
Sadly, Terry, the Leafs have won a Stanley Cup more recently than the Dolphins have won a Super Bowl. So I guess you're right. I guess they are the Toronto Maple Leafs. So what's catching your eye? Like, I've been saying that I've been a fan of the Panthers just because I love the way they play.
Yeah.
Going back to last season, I was saying last season that I thought they were going to upset the Lightning, and then of course they returned the best player in the NHL who was fully healthy and fully rested and looked like a different species of human on the ice. So I was wrong, but I was looking at them this season. I thought there might be a turnaround, but the Capitals are giving them a hell of a fight.
Capitals are a good team. They score well. You know, they have
not your typical 8 seed, right?
No, I mean, not at all. They have the thing about a team like the Capitals is that, you know, they're not fresh off a Stanley Cup, but they won it 3 years ago, right? So and it's pretty much mostly the same guys out there. You still have Ovechkin, you still have Backstrom, you still have Wilson, you still have like a lot of their big guys.
Samsonov, I think was the goaltender for the championship team, wasn't he?
No,
or was he just like in the system at that point?
It's a good question. Who was in that?
He's been there for a little bit.
I feel like it was Holtby. It could have been Holtby.
That might be actually. But anyway, to your point, yes.
I don't know if he went to Vancouver at that point. It's either Holtby or Samsonov. Yeah. But yeah, so I mean that's a good series. But the series that like I'm most intrigued with is the Leafs and the Lightning, and I'm kind of been rooting for the Leafs. Like I've been betting on them every game, and like I want to see the Leafs pass the first round because I feel that Austin Matthews is one of the best scorers we're going to see for a really long time.
Oh, his season was ridiculous.
Yeah, and I want to see him go into the playoffs and show everybody how good he actually is. Like there was a slap shot that he took in like game 3 where he kind of walked into the screen and the puck was loose and he just ripped it top shelf to tie the game.
Yeah.
The guy is a fucking scorer, man. And I would love to see him have some success in Toronto. I just don't think that they're good enough to win it all. Like Tampa Bay is probably the team that you have to worry about the most. Yeah. But the way Pittsburgh's playing and the way they're taking out New York and the potential Hart Trophy winner Shesterkin, I mean, if the Penguins end up playing the Leafs, I think that's a problem for the Leafs. Because they have a goalie who's playing with house money at this point. He's a third string goalie and he's fucking lighting it up in Louis Domingue. So, I mean, I'm excited to see there. I mean, then you have Carolina. Carolina is always a team. The series are fucking bananas. And you have St. Louis and Minnesota. That one's a crazy series. Calgary, Colorado, and Avalanche, and Nashville. We kind of know what's going to happen there. And then we have the other series that's fucking bananas.
I was going to say because you mentioned how Tampa is the team to beat, but Colorado looks scary.
Colorado's very good.
They look set up for like a decade of success.
Like, yeah, they're the best. They're the best team. No, Tampa Bay is the best team I've seen since like the 2001 Colorado Avalanche. And now the Colorado Avalanche are becoming what the Tampa Bay Lightning were maybe like 5 years ago, where they have like 2 or 3 guys that are just really good and they're slowly building. They have Makar. Like Makar's so fucking good, and they have a bunch of guys coming up.
McKinnon, who's probably one of the best players in the league, said Makar is the best player in the league by far.
McKinnon will say that though because he calculates his calories like a fucking nutcase. Yeah, the guy's a psychopath. He's a psychopath.
He definitely is a weirdo. That's for sure.
He's a psychopath, that guy. But that's why he's one of the best. And this season has been fucking crazy.
But so I have a question. Why is McKinnon a psychopath? But why is Tom Brady like, look how much he takes care of his body?
Oh, I think he's a psychopath also. Yeah, I think they're both psychopaths. I think if your calories and everything like that, you're definitely a psychopath.
For sure. You're saying this to someone who counts his calories every day.
No, but like the way they do it is very fucking crazy, man. But they have to. They're superior athletes like me.
You know? Yeah, clearly they have a similar body type as well.
Yeah.
I would kill to have your mirrors. I want to just buy all your mirrors.
Yeah, just take them all. I mean, they won't change because it's the way I see myself.
That's honestly the NHL playoffs been awesome, but we'll take a minute to talk some Mexican football with our guest Tommy Roadley Trohatos. He's been playing for the Tequileros. I'm very excited. For those who have not seen it, do check him out. He's going to tell you how you can catch the games. He had a pick 6 this past week. Super excited for Tommy. He's just a great dude, so super happy for him. We're going to get to him next. And we're back. As promised, joining us is Tommy Roadley Trohatos. Tommy joins us for the second time, officially friend of the show. Super happy to have him on. We've been following with great interest because he's a buddy of ours outside of Hot Sauce Sports as well. We've been following his journey to pro football, and Tommy is a pro football player. Congrats, Tom. We're super proud of you. Super happy for you. You now join. I don't know the name of the league out in Mexico. Fill us in about where you're at right now.
So right now I'm in Guadalajara, in the state of Jalisco. And basically I play for the Tequileros of the Soy Fam League, which is it's a top 2 leagues in Mexico.
That's awesome.
How many leagues are there in Mexico?
That I know of is only the Soy Fam and the LFA. The LFA is a bit older than the Soy Fam, but in popularity they're both pretty close to one another.
How many teams in your league?
We have 9, I believe.
Oh wow! Okay. Mm-hmm. Like, is Cancun a team?
Yeah, we're going actually this weekend to play Cancun.
You gonna hit the beach or what?
Yeah, exactly.
So before we got on, I was asking Tommy, like, he's staying at like Bahia Principe. That's how I picture it. You know, it's like they take all the football players and they put them in like this 4-5-star resort and they just live there and they get their stuff clean and stuff like that. Then Tommy's like, well, I'm staying in a 5-star hotel. Excuse us. And back to Pisa's point about you being friend of the show, officially you're on. This is your second time.
Yeah.
I mean, who else have we had multiple times? You're in good company here. If you're a fantasy football guy, Andy McNamara.
Yeah, it's like
Marco Briette.
Usually it's like a lot of the journalists that cover some of the leagues. Like like Andy McNamara you mentioned, and so on. Yeah, usually that's the type. Honestly, we said we would bring Tommy on as we follow his career, right? And we wanted to be true to that. We're super excited. We saw a highlight of you taking a pic back to the house this week. Couldn't help but keep a smile on my face. What's it like though? What's the atmosphere like playing in a game in Mexico versus playing up here in Canada?
So like if you compare it, when it comes to fan base, I was surprised because we have like a huge fan base. There's about 5,000 people, and that's because like our stadium probably could only. We've won 2 games now in a row. Our first 2 games. We're going to Cancun this weekend, and the league was suspended because of COVID, so it's like starting back up. This is its 3rd year technically, and so it's awesome, man. To be honest, like there's a lot of supporters, and the pay is not like the CFL or like any big league that we know in North America. But I get a salary. I have a place to stay. I don't have to pay. I have food that I don't have to pay. Transportation, gym membership. We have a bunch of things and advantages that that they don't do in like the CFL, the NFL, because these guys are making a lot more money.
Yeah,
but when it comes to
just do it yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And when it comes to popularity and the feeling of playing pro, last game I played very well and I won MVP of the game. So, I came out of there with having to sign some team apparel, take pictures with fans.
That's cool. I want to know. I mean, so are you like the only Canadian there, or is it all Mexicans, or is it like a mix American and Mexican?
So it's like you guys probably know a bit more about European leagues, but it's similar. So think of the CFL, but flip it around. So the locals are Mexicans, and then we have imports. So on my team, I'm the only Canadian, but I think we have 10 or 11 other imports who are mostly American. I don't think anybody else is from anywhere else. And all the rest of the team is Mexican. So every team is allowed 16 imports. And yeah, that's pretty much the rules of the league.
And it's like a good breeding. I don't know if it's the same. Sorry, Iggs. I don't know if it's the same league, but I remember I was watching Hard Knocks last year, and it was the Cowboys, and they had this kid from Mexico, and he played in that Mexican league last year. So I'm like, I guess it's like a breeding ground over there because, a lot of these kids don't get the opportunities to go to like a D1 school. So I mean, the league is probably unreal. And Mexican guys sometimes they're enormous and super athletic.
Yeah, exactly. I'd say when it
tough
comes
like Samoans.
Yeah.
So question for you: the CFL,
in the CFL global draft.
So it's freezing a little bit on our end. That's why Eagle keeps
there's a huge lag. Yeah, sorry, Tom. There's a huge lag.
Yeah.
Eagle, go ask your question.
Okay, so my question is: the CFL basically bastardized football rules to do their own stupid version of it. The NFL is, as I consider it, the best version of football rules. So does your league basically borrow the NFL rulebook? Is there anything different to expect? Like, how does he actually play on the field?
It's really like the NFL. So I haven't seen any differences from the NFL, but they're trying to copy what comes from the US and the NFL rules and playbook, and everything is very American and not as like the Canadian Football League.
So Tommy, I want to know what's your background, and do you already speak Spanish?
Tommy's Greek, bro.
Is he?
Yes. Yeah. So basically, I'm British and Greek and French, obviously. And when it comes to speaking, I understand Spanish because it's close to French. With my driver, I teach him English. He teaches me Spanish.
Oh, for real? That's a sick deal.
Yeah. So we're like when the car rides and stuff like that, when he'll talk to me, I'll try to understand and then ask him questions and vice versa.
So
Tommy, this is how I know you become big shot when you slowly sneak in my driver.
My
like
driver,
excuse us. Yeah. This is Tommy, man. He's all of a sudden a big shot over here.
So Tommy, this is a little tip. So when your driver's driving you somewhere and it's really far, one expression you can use is, you can ask him, "Are you taking me to Casa Carayo?" And that means literally fuck house, but they mean it as far as fuck. Where are you bringing me? It's far as fuck.
Oh.
But it's a strange translation. I'm learning Spanish too. It's similar, like you said, to like Spanish or to French or Italian, but there's so many little intricacies in terms of how they use the language. It's very different.
Yes.
And like people very distinct dialect too.
Mm-hmm. Big time.
I got back from Cuba. That's why I got my beautiful brown skin, Tommy.
Oh, there we go. It's a tan.
Yeah. You should have seen my back. It was red like my hat the first day. So did you get noticed from that camp? You came on last year to talk about for your GoFundMe because you went to that training camp. Was it down in Florida or was it? I feel like it was Ohio.
Ohio, yeah.
It was in Ohio. And did you get noticed from there? Did you have to like send out your tape to 1 million people? Like, what was the process? How did you get drafted?
It wasn't even close to like related. It was through social media. So there's this guy on my team. His name's Noah Whittle. Noah owns his own company that's named Top Arc. Top Arc, basically, their goal is to find players like me who haven't been in the big leagues, the NFL or CFL, or guys coming out of the big leagues that were cut and stuff like that, but want to keep on like their dream and to play professional football. So he played previously in Europe, and he started and asked me if I wanted to go play in Mexico. So that's the story in brief.
So it's just an agent looking out for highlight tapes, and he found you.
Yeah, he's not even an agent. I'd say it's just like Noah and his own thing, and they're like a couple of guys that play football and have played internationally, and they just look up. They don't make like there's a base price,
like a finder's fee kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And then if you really want your profile to be sent out to different teams around the world, well, then you pay it, and he does the work.
What other countries were like not on the table, but like what other options would you have had? Like I know Japan has a league, Germany, like I know England has one too as well. Like what like what other countries were you like? I didn't know they had one in Thailand.
To be honest, Japan, I've learned a lot about it lately, and they make mad money. Like they make
really?
Yeah, like a CFL type of money for the Japanese league. They're sponsored by like Panasonic and Samsung and all that stuff. Money, but I was looking at like either GFL 1 or the ELF, which is basically is a new version of the NFL Europe. And I was looking into those teams, and I had sent my tape, but most of the imports were already signed. So I was hoping for an opportunity, didn't get one, but by luck, I got this one in Mexico. And when it comes to talent wise and competition, like there's some big names in the soy fan.
So I always have to ask more of the controversial question here, and I wanted to ask you about the fans, the league, and playing in what I'll describe as a Latin American country, notoriously known for brawls, fans running on the field. I think in one case, a football ref was actually stabbed or something.
Pablo Escobar.
I mean,
different country, Terry. Different country.
Yeah, but he said Latin How so.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, that's why technically Mexico is still North America, but
it's still Latin America.
Yeah, exactly. So and you mentioned your driver, right? So obviously security is somewhat of a concern. So how does that actually make you feel?
They obviously want you to get there like safely.
I lagged at the end. Can I just
What security look like essentially for you? Like how comfortable do you feel interacting with either other players, fans, or just being there in general?
You got to be careful. So they told us there's dangers everywhere. There's bad people, and you got to be careful. So when it comes to game time and how the league is kind of managed, is they know that there could be like some animosity, and so they have a lot of security. Our driver is there at most home games, and he makes sure that we're safe. And then that's it. Like our coach said, he says, if somebody's looking for trouble, don't make it, don't make it personal. Just ignore it and walk away, because it could be dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are you close? Like, you ever fuck around and say, let's go to Arizona? Because I drove from Arizona to Mexico, and that was like a very crazy drive. Yeah.
Let's say everybody knows Puerto Vallarta, which is on like the coast. We're kind of like between Puerto Vallarta, but we're 4 hours away driving. And
okay.
So like we're in the northwest part of Mexico.
I'm thinking of the map I saw on Narcos, where it has like all the cartels, and it has.
Well, yeah.
There's like Jalisco cartel.
Yes.
I don't know, Tommy.
So Guadalajara,
get your driver to drive you back to Montreal.
Guadalajara is known as sort of like one of the best spots for food in Mexico. Obviously, tacos are a favorite, but have you found anything like, what's your go-to now? Like, you're starving, you had a great workout. What's your go-to now that you're settled in?
So right across we have a bunch of restaurants, but right across, I like food that fills me up and is inexpensive. I think a lot of us are like that.
It's the best
kind. Exactly. Across the street, there's this little. They install it at 4. They have this little shop, and a couple of other things.
Best.
And it's burgers. I eat that. Like, I'll eat 2 and after a late night practice, because our practices are from 9 to 11.
How come so late? I feel like you're in like remember you're in midget. It was always midget. The midget kids would always play. Their practice would always be like at 8 o'clock. Like the younger kids would be earlier. So like, are you like the oldest kids? Are you guys like the oldest team?
No, it's because not all players are paid the same. So as imports, obviously we don't have to pay anything, but all the other guys on the team, like they're adults, they have families, this and that. So they have to work. So they push it back. And also the heat. If we'd practice at 4 or 5, we'd probably like die of dehydration.
Oh yeah, it's true. I didn't even think about that, man. Fuck. Imagine like 4 o'clock, the sun is beaming.
Like it's like 27 degrees today in Montreal. Imagine Guadalajara, Mexico.
Yeah, like 6 times that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what? Sick tan. You probably get a really sick tan. Not as nice as mine, but
Yeah, exactly. I think I have the olive tan.
That's it. All the skin. He knows nothing about that. Him and his brother, they just turn red.
Well, no, I turn red and instantly turn brown like a day later. But my brother will just be red all summer.
Like, your brother goes for a run. I know. Yeah. If your brother goes for a light jog for 14 minutes, lobster. I know that he. Yeah. Like my hat.
Yeah, exactly. It would be camouflage if you went for a run.
So Tommy, where can we watch your games?
So either on the YouTube stream or there's a Facebook stream. Usually I post the YouTube stream on my like IG story, and you could find them on our like team pages. So our team at Tequileros, they'll post the link. Sometimes the last 2 games the link started a bit late, so we're like 7 minutes into the first quarter is missed, but it's pretty good quality and it allows everybody to see it.
I'm looking at your guys' like uniforms. It's pretty sick, like the green, and it's funny because you played at Sherbrooke, right? The gold and green.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I love it, man. I love these uniforms. They're pretty sick.
Tequileros. I would imagine after every W, you're doing a bunch of shots, a little lime tequila salt. Or
well, I don't drink, so
okay, that's what they all.
I
say.
don't do
that's
that.
Fine.
Yeah. I don't drink. I mean, why else would you need a driver if you didn't drink?
That's a good point.
It's the best
time. It's the best time to drink.
It's because we can't. We don't have like. I don't know how to drive here. People who drive here are kind of dangerous.
Yeah. You get scooters in between cars, man.
Driving in South America is wild. Driving in South America, it's North America technically, but driving Latin America at Eagles Point is wild. I came back from Colombia and I was like, I'm so happy we just took cabs everywhere because I would have been several accidents.
You took cabs in Colombia?
Nonstop.
That sounds dangerous.
There's no Uber in Colombia.
That's illegal. But I think the cabs in Colombia are like part of like their They're not private companies. I think the government.
No, it's the government run. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So Tommy, you're drinking water. I know every time
Yes.
I've been to Mexico 5 times. Every time I go there, I always say, don't drink the water. Don't drink the water. Don't drink the water. Are you drinking water in southern countries? Maybe my shit is just bad all the time. I don't know.
There's that.
So this is bottled water. So like we have big like 20 liters of water, and basically they told us to not drink it just in case. They don't want us to be sick for no reason. So I didn't really drink it. Like I maybe a couple of times where we didn't have any water left, so I had to. But I felt sick in the beginning, and I think it was just because of food poisoning. Lasted 2 days, and then I was fine.
Man, all I know is that nobody wants me to be clogging up Mexican toilets.
No, not at all. Tommy, thank you so much.
I would change the plumbing system for the entire country.
Tommy, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to continue following along your journey, my dude. Super excited for you. I just added the Tequileros Facebook page to my pages, and I'll be getting updates and watching the games.
When's the next game?
Saturday at 6.
Saturday at 6. I'll be watching.
Awesome. Same here. Same here.
We'll share the YouTube link and we'll share
Appreciate
all that.
it, guys.
It's honestly like when I've seen Tommy play. When you see him, you know, tiene algo. There's something about him. There's something about Tommy. It's always a blast, dude. Thank you so much for joining us. Sorry about some of the technical difficulties for this interview.
No worries. Thank you, guys, man. Really appreciate it.
We'll talk soon, bud.
Thanks, Tom. Appreciate it, buddy.
And we're back. I don't know about you guys, but I would not feel comfortable playing in Mexico.
I actually have a friend who played pro ball in Mexico and told me a lot of the same things. Is that you need a driver, you need to speak the language or know people to speak the language, and you got to be careful. That's all it is.
Now, if there is any sport you are going to play in a foreign country, football is probably the best one to prepare you to fight off people if necessary. Yeah. Maybe like UFC would be like the next one. Then, do you really want to pick a fight with a UFC fighter?
I was talking about this recently. Like, we're now at a point where if somebody like cuts you off in traffic, I'm never, regardless of the size of the dude, I'm never engaging in a fight because I'm assuming
you don't know who knows what anymore.
I'm assuming everyone except me does martial arts. Like I keep seeing tiny guys kick giant guys' asses, and I'm like, nah, not for me, not for me.
Yeah, fuck.
I don't want to be in an Oli in Montreal.
Shit, I played football.
Yeah,
I played football in Mexico. I think I would. Yeah.
All right, let's get to some rapid fires here. Our first one, mighty white of you. The Green Bay Packers had to address questions by a fan this week with regards to why they didn't draft any white players this year. Team president Mark Murphy needed to respond to an open public letter stating, Maryland, I can assure you that the NFL and particularly the Packers are not racist when it comes to drafting players.
Straight to the point, I guess, right?
So, what possesses you to write that letter in the first place? It seems strange.
Write the letter, one. Publish it on social media and publicly so other people can read it too.
It's the strangest.
It's okay to be racist in your closet. It's another thing to tell everyone you're racist.
I'm going to make the oldest reference of all time. It reminded me of 1977's Blazing Saddles, where Mel Brooks has the joke, where the white bitch is at, is what Marilyn was asking. And, of course, the Packers addressed it saying, that's not how we choose our players.
Imagine. It's like, yeah, I'll take him. He looks, he's the tone I like. Oh,
yeah,
it's disgusting.
It's bizarre.
How dumb can you be, though?
Very, apparently.
How do you print that?
All right, next. Letting it fly. Brazilian soccer player Marcelo was cut from Lyon after a 3-0 loss. The 34-year-old was removed from the team apparently because he was laughing incessantly and he continued to fart throughout a team meeting.
Farts are funny. I don't know if I'd be any different.
Okay, now I understand.
I think I would have been fired as well, Terry. Like, if I fart, I'm gonna laugh. I'm proud of my farts. Listen, some are musical, some are wet, some are loud, some are quiet. They're beautiful.
I only laugh if somebody else laughs.
Really? No. I only laugh at my own jokes. This lag.
But you know what? I can clear. I mean, my farts don't. Yeah, it's fucking. But smell that bad. So if it's bad, man, you're clearing out a stadium. That's
yeah. Sure. I'm the same. Like most of my farts are straight air, so it doesn't matter. But I never know. So my technique for farting at work is I will go to the photocopier, make a copy of nothing, and fart. The noise of the photocopier masks the sound. But once every, I'd say 36 farts, and I obviously giggle as I'm walking away, but one every 36 farts will come out smelling like absolute, like as if I ate a tire that was on fire that contained human flesh. That's the smell, and I'm immediately embarrassed. Because I can be like, oh, that's the weird ass sounds from the machine. I can't blame weird ass smells coming from the machine.
All right, next, TB375. Tom Brady has signed a deal with Fox Sports that will reportedly pay him $375 million over 10 years to enter the booth once he's done playing. I believe I looked this up, and that's actually going to be more than his career earnings playing in the NFL.
That's wild.
Over like
declared career earnings.
He would have made $303 million in his career in salary playing in the league, and he's going to make $375 talking about the league.
That's why the cap is terrible.
I don't see Tom Brady as like a color guy. I feel like he might be more in tune with like a Manning cast or something. You know, like something like that.
Apparently it's going to be full analyst. But here's the thing: is I can't imagine Tom Brady not committing to something and doing it like 100%. Like he's going to watch Manning, he's going to watch Romo, and insist on being better. Like that's just his character. And he's shown some personality.
He's definitely going to be better than Romo is now.
I think so. I think he will. Romo's got his.
Because as good as Romo was at the beginning, as good as he was at the beginning, he was just like the shtick kind of ran out after a while with Tony. You know what I mean? So I mean, he's still great, but
I like his enthusiasm. Like to me, I like that he's not starched. I like that he's having fun watching the game. Because hey, guess what? Football's supposed to be fun. It's not church. Yeah. So let's have fun watching the game. I do enjoy that. The thing when I saw this, Terry, was, my God, the Dolphins really screwed that up twice. They screwed up having him part of the organization twice. One time got the Bucks a championship. The other time got Fox their highest paid analyst. I can't.
An idiot.
How do you want me to even feel anymore? I can't go back to the me I was before all this hurt. I can't do it.
All right, next. Is it in the game? EA Sports has announced that after FIFA 23, the next installment of the game will be called EA Sports FC. Apparently, the reason for this is because FIFA was going to charge them $1 billion every 4 years to use the FIFA brand in their game name, and they're like, fuck that, no. FIFA has since responded saying they're going to create their own sports game with blackjack and hookers. In fact, forget the sports game.
No, but the thing is that are they still going to have all access to all the names?
Yes.
Okay, that's that. I don't give a shit then, but it's stupid.
But so
call it something else.
EA fighting back for someone overcharging for an already established product. Wait a second. That's what EA does every year when they release the same sports game year after year after year with very little development. It's EA got out EA'd by FIFA. I didn't even know which way to look. It's like, where do I punch first, Terry? It's two organizations I love making fun of at the same time, both not being able to cooperate. It's just a flaming shit fire.
All right.
I knew a buddy. He used to work at EA when it was in Montreal. Their head offices, and I used to pay $20 per game. It was the best.
Yeah, that's the only way to. That's what EA games are actually worth because
they actually still have an office in Montreal. You know that.
Okay. They don't develop.
No, but they had like testers and stuff. Yeah.
They still do. They have a whole studio. Motive.
Like I know a bunch of people got laid off and shit like a couple years ago.
Yes, that happens often.
That's EA.
All right, and our last one for today. Give him the boot. NFL kicker Josh Lambo is suing the Jacksonville Jaguars for lost salary and damages after being kicked by Jaguars former coach Urban Meyer. I went to look this up. In his career, Josh Lambo has earned approximately $13.5 million in his career. So this would represent about 25% of that in one shot.
Yeah. Well, he was kicked. It's an HR violation, man. You can't kick people at work. Urban Meyer is a creep. It's what we expected. This is also a player. You don't sue the NFL.
It's also
if you expect another contract, right? So I think Josh Lambo knows he's at the end of his career. Sorry, Terry?
It's a human violation, not just an HR violation.
Don't kick people. Unless you're in the UFC.
Just don't do that.
Don't kick people. It's not that hard a principle. It's pretty easy to live by. Football players deal with a lot. They're not soft. They play a very physical game. But I do think this to me represents this Josh Lambo realizing he's at the end of his career. He's probably not getting another contract. So, you know what? You got kicked, so cash out. Why not?
And that's it for today.
Thank you for everyone who fought through the lag with us. We will have this improved by next week. I apologize. It's terrible. Thank you, Terry, for you fighting. I know the show is tough for you because you suffered the lag more than anybody else. Eagle, thank you for the work you've done today. Thank you for everyone who's watched, who has listened to, who has subscribed, who has done all that good stuff. Please continue to do so. We do appreciate you. But most of all, thank you all for letting me be myself. You've been listening to Hot Sauce Sports.